Hello, welcome to High Vibe Astrology. This is Jennifer. Thank you for joining me as we take a look at the Capricorn full moon, drawn up for July 21st, 2024 at 6:16 a.m. Eastern Time. This is the second Capricorn full moon, with the first one having taken place on June 21st. If you're new, thank you for being here, for finding this channel, and for supporting this community with your energy. If you haven't subscribed, I invite you to do so. Hit the like button and share these messages as you feel guided, all of which are free and easy ways to support this channel. I always like to inform new listeners that my style of interpretation views the astrology chart as a microcosm for the collective energies. I include spirit-guided oracle messages that never fail to illuminate the astrological story in ways that fortify our connection to the cosmos, and never fail to illustrate how connected we are to the Creator. The planetary energies speak to us as much from within as they do in the external world. So this time I was guided to use my Sacred Rebels oracle. I've been feeling that Sacred Rebel energy within me, and those of you who commented on my special message, I really appreciate that. Thank you so much for your support. The three cards that fell out as I was shuffling are Visions of Life Beyond Death, What You Want Wants You, and Spirals of Manifestation. So the first one, of course, speaks to seeing what is beyond this horizon or this major transition, death and rebirth that we're experiencing right now. To see beyond that to the life we are indeed creating. The second message is just reinforcing that what we want absolutely is calling us and wants us to step up, step into this new version of ourselves, of life, and not just our personal life, but life on the planet. And the third one is Spirals of Manifestation. And this one aptly describes what I consider to be that 6th house, 12th house axis of bringing our dreams and visions into our everyday life, which is the 6th house. The 12th house is the dreams, the visions, the intangible. The 6th house is that manifested realm. So these messages will be included after the astrology and before the frequencies with a timestamp for everything for your convenience. So I trust you to take what resonates for you and leave the rest behind. And if you are interested in a personal reading, please see the information links below this video. As I've mentioned in the last several videos, we have had several consecutive lunar cycles with Cancer and Capricorn on the relationship axis, the 1st and 7th houses, as they are this lunar cycle. So even though they are sitting in the 6th and 12th houses, they are conjunct the ascendant and the descendant, the 1st and the 7th houses. It's clear, however, that this position signifies that we are completing this learning cycle. The fact that we have the sun and moon at the 29th degree, the last degree of any sign, is in and of itself signifying completion. The fact that we have these luminaries in the 12th and 6th houses, both of which are last houses, the 12th being the last house in the entire zodiac journey, and the 6th house representing the last stage of self-development, of private or personal evolution before entering that upper half of the zodiac wheel. When you move above the horizon, this signifies interaction with other people, with the public in general. They are both karmic houses and represent the polarity where we are learning how to be in the world but not of it. The 6th is a mundane house, coming from mundi, which means world, while the 12th is the most dreamlike, spiritual house, associated with all things behind the scenes, things that are invisible and intangible. So this placement conjunct the ascendant and descendant says to me that we are literally on the brink of a whole new reality. And we are literally, not just symbolically, making our dreams a reality. If we are using the energies properly, we can connect with the higher dimensions represented by that 12th house and pull them into the tangible house of everyday life. And I'm hearing it's like pulling a rabbit out of a hat, and it may actually feel that way as we watch the events unfolding. We do have far more harmonious aspects in this chart overall, represented by the blue lines, than we do challenging aspects represented by the red lines. But hard aspects are necessary for motivating us to make the changes we need to make and get out of a stagnant stupor or complacency. So let's break it down. We have Pluto, the planet of passion and power, death and rebirth, conjunct the moon and opposing the sun, aptly describing that seeing life beyond death card, that first oracle, and also describing the intensity and extreme polarity in our world at this time. Pluto's the co-ruler of Scorpio and represents the phoenix of death and rebirth. It pertains to politics too, because the lower vibe themes have to do with an obsession for power, manipulation, and transactional approaches to relationships. You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours, the typical politician's way of life. In the purest expression of Pluto, though, it annihilates everything the ego is selfishly clinging to, so that the soul's true nature is reborn to serve the masses rather than self-interest. The fact that we have Pluto here absolutely signifies that the old, unhealthy, transactional ways are dying or have already died, and what is being reborn is a newfound freedom, allowing us to pursue the hopes and wishes we've never had the opportunity to pursue in the past. Pluto in the sign of Aquarius, future hopes and wishes, the sign of humanity, the sign of our collective evolution, the sign of a rebirth in the collective zeitgeist. And while we're on the subject of Pluto, we can see that Scorpio sits on the 5th house cusp, and the 5th house is the native house for Leo. So we've got all three planets that I assigned to Scorpio in agreement with each other, as well as to this Leo ascendant. This is a major sign that our hearts, even while feeling the pain of loss and grief, are powerfully and passionately moving us toward joy, moving us toward that second card, what we want wants us. The same trine I've been talking about between Pluto and Sedna, and a conjunction between Mars and Sedna, all impacting this full moon, also signify that the energies of Scorpio are aligned with this full moon and the Leo rising. The harmonious contact from Sedna to both luminaries and to Pluto and Mars means that the higher sacred law absolutely trumps the lower expression of self-interest and of pushing the ego's agenda forward as Sedna gives birth to the new earth. Let's not forget that this whole cycle, beginning with the May new moon until now, with the Cancer and Capricorn ancestral energies figuring prominently, has been about putting things into their rightful place. Sedna is a planet about remembering the past so that we can course correct and allow higher spiritual laws to inform the man-made laws serving only the few. And in this chart, we now have the South Node conjunct the IC, the nadir or the lowest point of the chart, representing our taproot to the past, with the South Node representing our conditioning from past experiences. So there is a natural affinity between these two energies. That means, of course, that the North Node conjoins the midheaven. So our destiny and purpose is uniting with our status in the world and our interaction in our community. So that also is a natural fit. Then we have Leo rising, which represents the creative individual self-expression, inner child, and heart, which is ruled by the sun, conjunct the sun. So this is a double whammy for the light that is dawning and creating a new day for humanity, led by the heart's passion and purpose. We also have Aquarius on the 7th house cusp, representing other people, mirrors, and collaborators. And Aquarius literally represents groups, allies, our peers, group thinking, and our star brothers and sisters. The fact that we have a sextile between the moon and Neptune, which includes Pluto, and a trine between the sun and Neptune, is another astrological symbol of dreams being made real, being made tangible, or the proverbial rabbit out of a hat. Both Neptune and Pluto have a very keen intuition, spiritual vision, and empathy, especially when it comes to the collective energies. Chiron forms a weak T-square to this full moon, which signifies past wounding coming to the surface for the purpose of healing, that allows us to impart that healing wisdom to others. And Chiron at the top of the chart is also quite symbolic. So healing is at the forefront of the energy in this lunar cycle. We have a sextile and a trine from Uranus to the luminaries, trine to the moon, sextile to the sun. Uranus is the ruler of the 7th house, so this signifies an awakening that is taking place within the realm of other people, 7th house. We call our partners and collaborators, or our frenemies, quote unquote. Uranus sits in its own native house, the 11th house, awakening us to new possibilities, innovative and ingenious inventions or opportunities we couldn't see before regarding our future. And it also signifies an awakening taking place in the collective zeitgeist. In this chart, Mars rules the midheaven, the 10th house, and co-rules the 5th house with Scorpio there. And it is sextile and trine to the luminaries, as I mentioned before, so this is very supportive. There is a positive momentum in the energy surrounding this full moon. The fact that the stellium in the 11th house, minus Jupiter, which is a little too far away to be trining, is harmoniously tied to this full moon and tells me that we are heading in the right direction for fulfilling our destiny and purpose. And that the group, or at least the majority of the group, zeitgeist, is in agreement at this time with the changes that are unfolding. Jupiter, although it's a little too far away to be forming a trine and sextile to the luminaries, is making a sextile to Venus, while it is also connecting positively to the nodes of the moon. And this is highly significant because both Venus and Jupiter, beneficent planets, are positively supporting these destiny points and the direction we're taking at this time. Mercury and Uranus form a square to each other, and I see this tension as the main motivator for getting the truth out to the public in ways that are completely unexpected and surprising. The Uranus way of turning things on their head. And I love the fact that Mercury is trining Chiron at the top of the chart. So the messenger, which is Mercury, is delivering information that helps rather than hinders our journey towards healing. Healing of the masses, healing of our destiny, healing of our reputation in the world too, because Chiron's in the 10th house. Last but not least, we have Saturn, which once again is unaspected. It makes no significant aspects to any other planet in this chart. This has happened for a few of our lunar cycles. And to me, this emphasizes once again how we all need to dig deep within our own being for the resources to find the answers that have remained hidden, elusive, and confusing. to get clarity on things that have been so deceptive in the outer world, with Saturn in the ninth house of broadcasting and the message going out, and our belief system too. So we're getting answers around spirituality, sovereignty, mastery, and authority that have been so confusing and deceptive. Removing that veil of illusion, but it really requires digging deep into our own personal connection. The fact is that no government or institution can answer these questions. Only by going within and seeking those answers from our own personal connection to the divine can provide those answers to us. So that is what I have for you today. Please stay tuned for the oracle messages and the planetary frequencies that assist in the harmonic integration of this lunar cycle. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I look forward to being with you next time. Bye for now. Visions of life beyond death. Sacred vision is awakening within you. You are becoming blessed with the ability to truly see what is real rather than what appears to be. This is true insight. What was once considered consequential, what was once dismissed as an irritation or irrelevance, may be seen to have great spiritual significance. As mundane as something once appeared, it could now be worthy of absolute attention. The gift of genuine vision takes you into the being of the universal creator. This is the sacred terrain, beyond logic, convention, and that which is limited in any way. The more open you are to receiving true vision, the more love you will feel and recognize within and around you. Something may appear to change form, to be shed, to be lost, or to die, but there is love within it always. This realization doesn't remove the pain of the loss. It does provide a way through which it can be healed and eventually transformed into peace. The vision of love, the truth of all that is, can move us more than anything else possibly can. If you have been wondering about your life path, or whether you should take action on a project, or you need inspiration to really move you out of a slump you have fallen into, then this oracle brings you a message of hope. You will receive your vision. You will be graced with a way out of the stagnancy. You will be able to see things differently and more accurately. Any confusion or uncertainty you have felt is going to pass, and you will be left with clear insight. The stories you have been feeding yourself, or telling yourself may end up looking different to how they appear right now. This may surprise you, but the vision that is coming to you will be more truthful and therefore freeing. It will be worth the shock, surprise, or the moment of embarrassment when you realize you have been operating under a false assurance or deluding yourself about the truth of a situation. Those moments will pass, and they are not something to feel bad about. They signify that you are leaving behind a smaller view for a more expansive one. They are a sign that you have outgrown your old vision in order to live up to a bigger one. This is good. There might be a moment when your ego feels a bit dented, but sure enough, that too will pass. This oracle comes with additional guidance for you. You are watched over by life and held in protection. Whatever has been bothering you will not be able to harm you. You will prevail. If you are concerned that someone is getting away with something or blocking your path, and it seems there is nothing you can do about it, don't worry. The all-seeing eye of life perceives everything without exception. It is the universal mother with eyes not only in the back of her head, but in every living cell of life itself. She misses nothing, and the truth of her vision will always be met with justice, mercy, and wisdom. This oracle is also asking you to shift your perspective and look at an issue of concern a little differently. If you don't know how to do this, simply add the following statement to the end of the healing process. I call upon the universal eye to show me the most helpful way to see this situation of concern now. In shifting how you look at things, the energy in what is beheld changes. You can see this with people. When you shame and judge someone, they react differently to when they are loved and encouraged. They may succeed nonetheless, but the journey to that success will be different. Looking at something through the eyes of love rather than fear can help us find our way more quickly, easily, and enjoyably. This oracle comes with the additional message that your ability to perceive is expanding into truth. Your ability to be inspired and see the light in all things is unfolding. It must be nourished in your heart with living acceptance because you are going to help others through your vision, your art, and how you choose to be in the world. Here's the healing process. Say aloud, I now release any fear I have associated with seeing truth, with seeing beyond the veil of illusion, or with my inner vision opening up from my heart, mind, and body. I release any wounding I have received in relation to what I have witnessed at any time, especially where it is based in the fearful responses of others. I ask that my vision be restored to its fullness through compassion and unconditional love. So be it. What you want wants you. Do you dare to believe that what you want is also wanting you? The genuine desires of your heart are the sacred purpose of the soul, swathed in pleasure. Yet if you have been shamed, judged for, made to feel guilty over, or denied your natural desires or pleasures in any way, you may have developed a very tricky and complicated relationship with the yearnings of your heart. We often learn to distrust our own desires and come to believe that they are something to be overcome or avoided. We may even try to want second best, disbelieving that we are worthy of our first choice, of what we really, genuinely want, and would fulfill us deeply. Perhaps we have conditioned ourselves to believe that getting what we want is for others, not for us. This oracle comes with a healing message for you. First, trust in what you truly want, not the substitutions and make-dos, but what would truly bring a sense of passionate, playful purpose and fulfillment to your life. You might not know anything more than I want to sing, or I want to write, or I want to help animals, or I want to paint. Start with what you know and hold it in your heart as you do the healing process. If you genuinely do not know what your heart wants, you will very much enjoy the process of exploring your dreams by making gentle and persistent inquiries of yourself. Ask yourself what it is that truly moves you. Give this matter consistent attention without forcing a response. Your answers may come in a sudden flood or slowly over time. As you get to know your genuine desires and give yourself permission to feel and receive them, a powerful sequence is set in motion from the depths of the universe. Your desire hurtles its way towards you as the perfect manifestation. It is coming to you even now, manifesting itself as the best situation or relationship or circumstances to bring fulfillment to your heart and radiance to your life path and creative awakening. So don't give up. Keep dreaming of your fulfillment, but don't imagine it as always awaiting you in some distant future. Instead, play with what it will feel like to be so fulfilled right now. How will you feel different? Will you be more grateful, more peaceful and content, more confident, more trusting of your ability to create, and in the loving responsiveness of this wild universe? Cultivate those feelings. Get to feel what genuine desire and the meeting of that desire that can then generate yet new desire is like for you. Give yourself permission to go there right now. Remember that if you have people in your life who are shutting you down, suggesting that what you want is not possible or that you are aiming too high, then they need this healing too. Perhaps you can inspire them by giving yourself permission to heal. This will naturally open them to the idea that they could give themselves permission to know and fulfill their unique desires too. Whether someone chooses to be inspired by you or to be fearful of your innate creative power is completely up to them. This oracle brings you the message that whether you see it coming or not, your desire is already on its way to you. It is closer than you think, and soon you will be able to see it, touch it, feel it, and enjoy it. You will then become inspired for your next manifestation based on the true desires of your heart. Healing process. Repeat this statement 3 times with feeling. What I want wants me, and I am open, willing, and capable to receive it through unconditional love now. Spirals of manifestation. The creative, rebellious path of love moves in spirals. It is not linear. Sometimes our mind decides that the way forward is to take clear steps from one point to the next logical point. However, there is a genius within that can guide us on an alternative route. If there is an unnecessary pothole or delay in the typical linear path of progression, and the curved loop in the path will be quicker, more fun, and more beautiful, then why not allow yourself to be guided to that path? This can happen through trust and wisdom rather than rigid adherence to what on the surface appears to be logical progression. You are in the midst of a spiral of manifestation. Something is coming into being, even if you think it is further away than ever before. How amazing it will seem when what you have been dreaming of falls into place. Suddenly, what you have been thinking of creating will plunk into your reality, seemingly out of nowhere, because it was just around the bend, just out of view on the spiral of manifestation, and you could not see it coming. In truth, it was coming to you all along. This oracle has a message for you. Sometimes when we feel the furthest away from what we want, we are actually closer than ever before. Just one turn into the spiral loop of creation can see your manifestation taking root in the world. You must hold true to your faith and keep working on your progress. Forget about believing it when you are seeing it. Any old soul or young soul can do that. You have enough chutzpah to believe it so that you can see it sooner, bigger, and brighter. Do not give in to those who tell you it should have happened already or that you have failed. They are just suffering from a lack of patience and understanding, as well as an arrogant assumption that their notion of timing is somehow superior to the greater divine timing at play in life. Be in goodwill with yourself and the universe. All is unfolding perfectly, whether you feel it right now or not. This oracle also brings a message to you about the perfect synchronicities that are taking place in your life. You may have started to notice these already. When we live from the heart, honor our creative center, and choose unlikely but lovingly rebellious ways to be in the world, we will begin to notice synchronicity every day. It is as though the universe is speaking to us intimately on all matters, which of course it is. This oracle reminds you that there is no point rushing to the bus stop. If you are way too early, you are just wasting your time. Better to live your life in a more appropriate pace and get there at the right time. You don't need the anxiety that comes from rushing towards your destiny. You will attract what you want and need so much more enjoyably if you relax and deal with the here and now. Remember, too, that your life path is unfolding in harmony with the paths of others. You will meet with each other for the greatest benefit when you trust in the flow of the one great creative spiral upon which this galaxy spins. Everything is ultimately in harmony with everything else to fulfill the great creative intent of this supreme creative force of love. And you're included in that. Lucky. Healing process. Spirals of creation, spirals of light. You bring me my manifestation to life. I trust in your wisdom and in your grace. Help me be wise and keep the faith.